Yo, LeBron James is getting cooked in the media like he gets cooked most of the time in the finals. Let's talk about it.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Okay, Ring Culture, welcome back to Ring Culture, where we play no games, we just spit game about the game we love. Before we get into this video, though, go over to my reaction page, The Nuclear Reactor. Check out all my sports content over there. Y'all will love it. I got 3 sports playlists, actually 4, I think now. And the playlist of individual players: Jordan, Bird, Asia Wilson, Paige Beckers, stuff like that. But back over here at Ring Culture, make sure y'all like and comment down below. That's how y'all push me into the algorithm. And then I'll go get them. When my content hit them, it fit them, it sit with them. Subscribe and hit the bell notification so y'all can be notified for every time I upload. Share my videos and hype my channel. So today we're going to be getting into a few topics that I've been telling y'all was going to increase more and more as LeFraud gets to the end of his career. Y'all remember me telling y'all as he gets to the end of his career, more and more people are going to start coming out and telling the truth about LeBron because the lies aren't even close to reality. So the 3 clips we're going to get into is Ron Harper at a media day with his sons, Craig Carton basically calling LeBron stat pad and fraud, which we already know, and the former general manager of the Cavs, Griffin, something Griffin his name is. But before I give y'all my opinion about everything these guys said, I need y'all to listen to what they said, and I'll get back at the end and tell y'all what I think. So check this out.
Was this a vision you had?
I'm not LeBron James. I'm not going to tell my kids what they have to do. I just want my kids to play and enjoy the game and whatever. They can get back out the ball game. We will take it. Once upon a time, I told them whatever opportunity that you have, you should have a chance to play in the NBA.
Assessment of the current state of the Cavs.
One of the things that we really benefited from was we were in a historically bad Eastern Conference. And all through those years, we really knew the target is the Western Conference team. There was nobody in the East who was really going to be in the way.
Yeah, right. The East was the LeBron Invitational for all of those years.
That now.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I think people need to appreciate a little bit more is Kobe is doing what he's doing, and this Cavs team with Donovan is trying to do what they're doing in a Eastern Conference that's significantly more competitive than what we had. So just making the finals will be significant.
Another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here, my main man, Tyrone A. Johnson, right there. You're going to have a tough day today, Tyrone, because you were the guy that sat there yesterday saying, why can't you give a 41-year-old a break? He's got a bad ankle. He's got a tough time running.
I actually didn't say that at all. I didn't say that at all.
All you weak-ass LeBron stands coming at me on Twitter. I don't have the balls to say nothing to me when you see me, but on Twitter, everybody's a tough guy. Oh, look at LeBron James. Oh, this guy has to have a triple-double. Funny how his ankle wasn't good enough for him to play the night before against the San Antonio Spurs, but in a night when you have no Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks are a bad basketball team with half their roster out, LeBron James not only plays, and obviously played very well last night against the Mavericks. I want you to walk me through this. LA Lakers up by 16 points, 3 minutes and change to go. Mavericks miss a shot, and Austin Reeves gets a rebound, and everybody starts yelling at him because that should have been LeBron's rebound to get the triple-double. So what does J.J. Redick do? in a game that they're blowing the Mavericks out and LeBron is still on the court, one might say to themselves, why does a guy at 41 years old who couldn't play against the San Antonio Spurs because allegedly he had a bad ankle and couldn't go? We know what he's really doing, folks. He's waiting to play against lesser opponents so he can stat pad because that's what he does. Why would that guy be in the game up by 16 with 3 minutes to go? But then it gets better. After Austin Reeves gets that rebound, J.J. Redick actually calls a timeout. Now, I'm thinking they're calling a timeout to get all the starters out of the game because you're up by 16, 3 minutes to go, the game is a wrap. That's not why he called timeout. He called timeout so that they could tell Austin Reeves, no more rebounds. You stole a rebound from LeBron, and LeBron's not coming out of the game until he gets a triple-double. Because, again, it's not about his well-being. It's not about protecting him for a playoff run. It's about stat padding. We got to make sure LeBron gets one more rebound so that he gets a triple-double, and then we'll take him out of the game. These are facts. This is what happened last night. Not healthy enough to play against the Spurs, healthy enough to play against the Mavericks without Cooper Flagg, and wouldn't come out of the game up by 16, 3 minutes and change to go until he does what? Until he stat pads, gets the extra rebound, which he stole from Hayes on his own team so that he could get the triple-double. Now let's call another timeout. Let's get him out of the game so everybody can celebrate that at 41 years old, he's good enough to get a triple-double. It is a clown maneuver by a guy that is only interested in his own stats so that he can celebrate himself. There is no plausible reason why LeBron James, who allegedly has a bad ankle, is in a basketball game against a bad team up by 16 with 3 minutes to go. Your turn, sir.
All right, so y'all heard that. Let me deal with the Ron Harper one first because it's the quickest thing I can talk about. Listen, Ron Harper seems to have the same sentiment about the Bronny James situation as I do. I believe LeBron James is a narcissist, and I could be wrong about the thing I'm about to say now, but I don't know. It's just the way I feel. I feel like LeBron, because he's a narcissist, and I'm not talking about overtly, but manipulates and gaslights and his son into getting in the NBA. Because I don't believe Bronny is an NBA player. I don't think he's ready for the NBA. It's not a coincidence that the team your father is on drafted you, and not only drafted you, gave you a guaranteed 4-year contract when you shouldn't be in the NBA at all. I believe he took someone else's spot, but I think in my mind, this could be wrong though, that his father had a lot to do with him going forward and doing this because LeBron's been saying for years that he wants to play with his sons. And it's just his narcissism. Now, the reason why I say that is because Bronny had a heart attack while playing basketball and he almost died. So I don't know how much of his heart is really into playing NBA or pushing himself that hard, because the last time he pushed himself extremely hard, the kid had a heart attack and almost died. So I don't know if that's true, that what LeBron's doing. LeBron does seem to clearly be a narcissist, and I think he thinks that his son playing with him somehow helps his GOAT case. Nothing will, bro. You never gonna be the GOAT. But anyway, let me just push that one aside, and I want to go on to like the ex-general manager of the Clippers. I mean, all of us hoop heads been saying this for a while, that LeBron James formed a super team in the East and ran through a historically weak Eastern Conference. I've already said before, I give LeBron a lot of props for leading the 07 Cavs to the finals. That was not a bad team. That was a good team. That was on that finals team that made a run to the finals. Best defense in the playoffs. I think the second best defense in the regular season. LeBron did an exceptional job leading them to the finals, but he got to the finals and he completely choked. He choked in the finals in 07. It wasn't that he was up against some dynasty. These teams are becoming dynasties by whooping LeBron ass. LeBron is helping other players LeBron is helping other players Hall of Fame resumes because they keep beating him. Then he went through a few years, but he got bounced by the Magic, the super team Celtics. So LeBron quit in 2010, the Celtics series. He completely quit while he was on the court, and then he ran to Dwayne Wade, who was already an NBA champ, a scoring champ, and the Finals MVP, and got Chris Bosh, who was the face of Toronto at the time, to come play with them. So that was two players in the East that was already weak, going to another superstar player that was also in the East, further destroying the competitive balance in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference, because the East was garbage. So when Griffin says that they were in a historically weak East, he's 100% right. He's absolutely correct. The East was straight garbage back when LeBron was in it. That's why he went to so many. Finals. Remember, they played against a 60-win Atlanta team, and that Atlanta team didn't really have any real leader on it. I think their best player was probably Kyle Korver. That team wasn't that good, though. It seemed like a bunch of high-end role players on one team, and they won like 60-something games. But everybody knew that Atlanta team wasn't going to the finals. You know what I'm saying? They was a 60-win team that everybody saw as like, come on, this team not going anywhere. They winning games because they're in a garbage conference. So yeah, LeBron James is not that dude. What the bull Craig Carton said is something we've always been saying. LeBron James ducked smoke against Wemby and played against, who was it? Was it the Mavericks team that they blew out and LeBron got a triple-double? But he couldn't play the night before. And Carton co-host was saying that LeBron did play against the Thunder because they have the best record. It's true, the Thunder does have the best record. But if you ask me which team is more dangerous, I would say the Spurs. Because Wemby's on it. I think LeBron James ducked Wemby. Just like last year he was ducking Jokic. You remember they was putting LeBron at center, so whenever he came up against a real center, he would just have a mysterious injury that he had to load manage for. Because real don't only recognize real, fake recognize real too. And LeBron James is fake and Wemby is real. And LeBron does not want smoke like that. You know what I'm saying? As I told y'all before, when LeBron come back to the Lakers, because it seems like it become ancient history in the mainstream sports media, how good the Lakers was before LeBron came back. How great Austin Reeves and Luka had that team playing. Even though Luka is not a good defender, terrible, this year he put forth effort to be a better player all around. That's why he lost so much weight. And I knew when LeBron came back, all the team chemistry was going to get destroyed because contrary to mainstream media opinion, LeBron James destroys team chemistry. This is why LeBron gets his ass whooped when he comes up against real teams a lot of times. Because LeBron James is not that dude. Told y'all before, I think LeBron James' offensive IQ is a little above average and his defensive IQ is way below average. So what Craig Carton is saying is true. LeBron James gets in games against teams he knows he can get stats against. That doesn't always mean that the team is a bottom feeder team. There are certain matchups that LeBron knows he's going to be able to get off, cherry pick, leak out, barely play D, so he can get his rebounds. A video I did the other day, I think the video I did that was called Bron Sexual was in my comment. I showed y'all a video from 8 years ago of LeBron James literally not playing defense on KD in the finals so he could hunt rebounds. LeBron James does stuff like that all the time. Or he'll leak out, or he won't get back on defense and leave his team up there, his teammates up there to fend for themselves on a 4-on-5. LeBron's a fraud. We all know it. We all know he's a fraud. And as his career starts to wind down, you want to see more and more people come out and say the obvious. Whenever you tell somewhat the truth about LeBron, his fanboys don't ever deal with what you're saying. Well, 99% of the time, they won't deal with what you're saying. They will just bypass everything you said so they can attack you, as if what I am changes the facts of what I'm saying. Doesn't matter what I am. LeBron James is still a fraud. He's still a choker. LeBron James' legacy is still garbage because he formed super teams and completely underachieved on them. How the hell do you form so many super teams and only able to get 4 rings in 23 seasons? Come on. And you're supposed to be the GOAT or number 2 all time? That's not adding up. Either LeBron James is not anywhere near as great as his ball boys pretend he is, or y'all are delusional. Which one is it? I think it's both. LeBron James isn't nearly as great as his ball boys pretend he is. He's not, because it's not adding up. LeBron James' stats don't add up to his championship count. It just doesn't. LeBron James and Wilt Chamberlain has always been the 2 hardest people to rank. For me, they've been the 2 hardest people to rank because you look at all these gaudy stats that they both have, and that championship count don't make any sense. Like Wilt Chamberlain, I mean, this guy averaged 50 points per game and 25 rebounds per game in the same season. That is hard to wrap my brain around that. But this dude only has 2 championships. The year after he averaged 50 points per game, he averaged 45 points per game. He only has 2 championships. And I've heard some of the guys that were younger, the older generation, say about Wilt is because Russell had better teams. But I went back and looked. He wasn't only getting bounced by Russell Celtics. He was getting bounced by other teams too. I think it was Rick Barry that came out and said that Wilt Chamberlain, the reason he's like that is because he's kind of a choker. For Wilt Chamberlain to have 117 or 118 50-point regular season games, and to have 32 regular season 60-point games, he only has 4 50-point games in the playoffs. That doesn't make any sense to me. So LeBron James is the same thing. LeBron James has all these gaudy accolades that don't match his ring count. How is he the GOAT on mostly super teams and he lost the most playoff series? He lost the most playoff games. He lost the most finals games at 33. He has the most turnovers. He missed the most shots. How does that? None of those his gaudy stats don't reconcile with the fact that he only has 4 rings and 23 seasons and counting, and he's been on mostly super teams. I know his ball boys like to downplay the help that he had, but LeBron James and Kevin Durant has had the most help in NBA history. You can't get away with that. You can't downgrade LeBron James' teammates, because every time LeBron got one of those teammates, his ball boys will come out crying or praising that LeBron's getting the championship this year, only for inevitably LeBron to get in the playoffs or the finals and choke and destroy his team chances. And then LeBron ball boys would just blame it on his superstar teammates. That's insane, though. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below about what these 3 guys said about LeBron James. I already knew this stuff was going to start happening. Y'all going to see me reporting on more and more of this stuff more frequently, because it's going to keep happening more and more the closer this fraud gets to the end of his fraudulent career. But always remember, we are ring culture, because the whole point of the culture is to win rings. For the culture, I love y'all. Peace.